So welcome back. This is our second video, and today we're going to be talking about, you know, basically how to fight hunger before hunger gets you and causes you to lose the game in terms of restricting the amount of calories that you intake, which then leads to gaining weight. So first of all, we need to go back in time. We need to analyze, where does this desire for food come from, and why do we crave fatty foods, and furthermore, what can we do to um, prevent ourselves from overeating and from eating the things that we so desire? Because at the end of the day, the fact that we all crave fatty foods, it's all genetic, and there's and it's been because our bodies are adapted to live in sort of a prehistoric or hunter-gatherer societies, where food would people wouldn't normally have access to food, and food would be limited, basically limited to the big catch or the big kill that you would make. And so between those periods of time, people would basically starve. They didn't have a regular source of food. So our bodies, and we sort of adapted to this by preferring to eat fatty food. So the more fatty the food that you ate, the more likely that would sustain you through the long periods where groups or the tribe would go without, because maybe they couldn't due to rain or weather, or they weren't able to make a kill, or big game wasn't around, big game go extinct, climatic change and so on. So we're hardwired to want to eat unhealthy food. And also, we're hardwired to want to satiate or gratify ourselves through eating food that is high in calories and high in fat. So that's why when you walk through the store, here and there, if you see a pack of cookies or potato chips or ice cream, that kind of thing, you're more likely to go after it, as opposed to healthier options such as carrots and so on. So what we have to do is, so there inside every person, and this is one of the challenges I had when I was trying to lose weight. In every person, there are these competing desires. There's the logical or rational mind, which says that I want to look my best. I want to be in shape. I want to be a healthy. I know that if I'm healthy, I can live a longer life, and that kind of thing. Life will be better off in the long run. And then there's the other, so more primitive person or being within our core, which says that we don't know what tomorrow is going to be like. We can't really. It's harder to delay gratification. Make the most of it while you can. Get as much fat as you can. Get as much food as you can. Pretty much engage in behaviors which, although right now in this current civilization where we have steady access to food and calories, and that would have made sense in ancient world or prehistoric world. So what we have to do to counter this, right, is we have to start letting the rational mind take over. We have to start letting the rational mind take over when it comes to eating. And so how do we do that? How do we let the rational mind take over? Planning. Planning allows the rational mind to take over. Okay, so what triggers the prehistoric mind in terms of this having this craving and this desire to want to eat, and also the desire to want to eat something that's full of fat, something that's less healthy? Hunger. All right, hunger is the thing that makes us make choices which maybe in the long run will cause us to gain weight, cause us to be unhealthy, cause us to develop diseases due to our eating habits. So and drinking habits as well, not only eating, drinking habits as well. So how do we overcome this? Well, what we have to do first and foremost is we have to plan in advance. Okay, I mentioned this in the first video, but I'm going to say it again and actually just dedicate this video to this, because this is something that before you move on to the other videos, and we're going to get into some advanced strategies that you can use in terms of the type of food you eat, when you eat, what time you eat each day, and how that's going to help you to improve improve yourself and get your weight down and actually help you to become a more healthy person, a person who's more in shape, who's more active and have energy. But before we do that, we have to conquer this one first. This is the big thing right here, and that is you have to eat before you get hungry. All right, you have to eat before you get hungry, and the reason you're going to do that is that you are going to plan out what you're going to eat in advance, and then you're just going to eat that before you get hungry. Okay, and you're going to plan in terms of how much of that, whatever that food is that you're going to eat, and you're going to make that a daily routine. Okay, so essentially what happens is, because you're eating before you get hungry and before, and it does seem counterintuitive, because the idea is most people think, okay, all right, so I'm on a diet and I'm just going to hold back. I'm not going to eat that much in the morning. I'm not going to eat that much for dinner. For lunch. And then dinner time comes along, and what happens is that they've held back as much as they can. But the closer you get towards the evening, the night, the less willpower you have. You're tired, you're sleepy. The more likely you are to make up for the fact that you didn't eat much during the day, that you are going to then start eating more that fattier foods, or make less than ideal healthy food choices in the evening and at night. And so this is why people usually don't make much progress in terms of restricting their calorie intake. So what we're going to do is that we're going to plan our diet and what we're going to eat and when we're going to eat it. So we're just going to eat. We're going to eat, for example, say at 7 in the morning. We're going to have a certain type of food. I do. If you've seen the recent video, and I've got a link down in the below, where I state that obviously, if you're going to choose what to eat, oats are very good because they make you feel full. Okay, and you don't have to eat a lot of them, and so that'll help you to restrict your calorie intake. Another thing I like to eat, peanut butter and jelly as well. I know it seems very childish, but it does help me to feel full, and I don't feel hungry, so I can restrict the amount that I'm eating throughout the day. I'll also share some other links to some other different types of food that you can eat as well below in the comment section of this video, so you can check that out later. But the key thing, the most important thing, is that when you're eating, that you're holding, that you're planning what you're going to eat in advance. You do that. And so what happens is you realize over time, through this planning process, through this thinking, using the rational brain to control what you're eating, that you actually then start to lose weight. And you actually become better at controlling your calorie intake. And you realize that the hunger that was driving you to make bad decisions before, basically that can be overcome, and that you can do something to improve, that you can actually start to have more discipline and control. And this is something that, one of the things I found when I started doing this, is that it expanded not only in my current, not only made me more disciplined in terms of my ability to control how much I eat, but then expanded to other areas as well. So then I found that once I was able to control that, I was able to control how much I was able to work out more. I was able to have a more steady routine, a more disciplined routine in the gym. And then it affected other areas of my life as well. So professionally, I found that I was getting better results at work. As I said in the last video, I work in education management, and I started this program, this workout program, this sort of caloric restriction regimen about 3 years ago. And during that time, about 3 years ago, I was able to get into a doctoral program in education, leadership, and management. I was accepted to the program. I was able to complete all the work. And this was a dream that I had. Years before, I attempted to get into the education, leadership, and management doctoral program, but was unsuccessful. But once I started controlling what I ate and started becoming more disciplined in terms of exercise routine and regimen, then I found that I was actually able to have the energy to get into the doctoral program. And right now, currently, I am working in senior management. I'm a co-founder of an education company, and so life has improved a lot just through making this decision. But this is the first step. Obviously, maybe in future videos we might go into things about how to be successful, and we might venture off there. But right now, um, in terms of me being able to lose 100 pounds and actually seeing the other bits of success in my life, it all started from just restricting what I ate, and then also making a plan in terms of what I ate every day and eating before I actually got hungry. Okay, so that is something that you're going to want to do. You're actually going to have to do as the first step. Now, in future videos, we'll go into more detail about the various things that you can do in terms of what you eat, how you eat, when you work out, and that kinds of thing, those kinds of things. But right now, we're talking about controlling. So, controlling what you eat and letting that help you to lose weight. All right. And I talked about this a little bit last time as well. I'll touch on it just again, just so everyone, just keep in mind, a lot of people, when they first start or want to lose weight, they go to the gym and they work out like crazy. And they also eat like crazy as well. And so for that reason, a lot of times people find that after going to the gym, they actually gain weight as opposed to lose weight. They actually gain muscle, but they also haven't lost the fat as well. So it doesn't help solve the problem in many cases. In many cases, people they go and they work out a little bit, and it's very strenuous, and they sort of give up. And so that's a bit harder place, a bit more difficult area to start in terms of losing weight, to my mind, because working out, it requires learning several new skills. Obviously, in most cases, you need to pay someone to show you how to do those things. So you need to spend more money than you would normally do. And then after you spend this money, then you need to commit, and it's very painful, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So being able to, which actually might make you more stressed out, and which means you might eat more. So starting here from restricting the calories that we eat, I think, is a good way to begin, because you don't need to learn any new skills other than, well, I would say you don't need learning new skills in terms of what to eat. That's a key thing. So, like for example, I recommend oats. I recommend food without a lot of fat in it. Again, I'll give you some suggestions based on what I've done, what I've been doing, over the past 3 years. But you don't have to learn how to eat. You don't have to reinvent the wheel in terms of what you do. So this is a great place to start. It's just a fact. It's just conquering the hunger. And once you conquer the hunger, once you are able to control it with your rational mind, your logical mind, so that means obviously when you are going shopping, you're reading the back of the label. I know some people don't like that, but you have to do that. You have to read the back of the label. What is the nutritional content of what I'm eating? Is this a healthy choice? And you have to, obviously you'll have your own, daily limit in terms of the amount of calories you want to intake. But you have to do that, and you have to stick to it. All right. So if you say, okay, look, every day I'm only 1,500 calories, then that's what you're, unless, obviously if you go to a doctor and the doctor tells you need more, or you're not, given your current health condition, that's not the best way for you. That's a different situation. But all things considered equal, if everything is all right, and you say, okay, look, I'm only going to have 1,500 calories a day, then stick to that. Keep your routine. Use your logical mind to keep the routine and the schedule. And what will happen is over time, as you start to lose weight, the more you allow your logical mind to control this process and to bring you out, to improve your health in your life, the more other things in your life will start to improve as well. So it's sort of a cascading, I don't know how to describe it, a positive self-fulfilling prophecy, because the more disciplined you become in one area, it usually opens up doors in other areas as well. So I can guarantee that after you've begun to restrict the calories, then you'll be able to, and you're disciplined in terms of how you go about it, then other areas of your life will be equally positive, or you'll start to see positive, you'll start to see everything moving in a positive direction. All right, so that's pretty much all I have to say on that. I am going to share right after this, some links and then some information about some different types of food and that I eat every day to keep fit. And so if you're interested in those foods, there's a link down in the comment section where you can go purchase these various types of food if you're interested in that. All right, everyone, like the video, comment down below, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a good day. All right, hello, everyone. So I'm going to recommend one of my favorite drinks because before I lost weight, I used to drink a lot of Coca-Cola, and that wasn't very healthy, and that was actually contributing to my weight gain because of the amount of calories in Coca-Cola. So instead of that, I started drinking Perrier, and it's quite good for several reasons. One, there are 0 calories and no sugar, and it's also carbonated, and they add a bit of lime to it as well. So it tastes, tastes really good, like Sprite almost. But if you read the nutritional facts on the back, you'll realize that there are no calories in this. So the great thing about Perrier is that when you drink it, and after drinking it, you'll feel full, and you'll feel like you've just had like a carbonated beverage, which you just have, and at the same time, you have all the pleasures but none of the guilt, so you can enjoy it at the same time. So I definitely recommend this. There's a link down below in the comment section to this drink. You can get it on sale if you click the link and order yourself a pack of this drink. So definitely recommend it, highly recommend it as a way for you to get started in terms of decreasing your calorie intake.